Have you ever eaten a meal of strawberry jam, but then you added kale to it to make it super healthy? Of course you haven't. Of course you haven't thought of that. I did. I'm the health guru, not you. I'm gonna help 5 people right now, if you don't mind.
He's walking somewhere.
So we shall help 5 desperate losers trying to get healthy. No frills. This used to be a Loblaws. You know what's funny about that? Same exact food, cheaper now. Fantastic. Thank you, universe. Although I'm not going there. I have to walk all the way down to Chinatown. I want to see, since fruits and veggies are back in our lives now, what do they got down there? A mango? Dare we dream that? Hi there. What are your thoughts on alternate day fasting when you're only consuming 500 calories every other day? I started doing this week, only egg yolks and butter. Oh God, every other day. So far so good. Yeah, that'll last. Fat heals me. By the way, I've been watching your channel for years. Love your sense of humor and honesty. Abandon. Just abort whatever the hell you're doing. My guess is that you're doing that Walter Longo guy's fasting mimicking diet. I don't know, man. Like, it just sounds so painful to eat 500 calories in a day. And then what? Like, what are you doing? You're panicking at that point. I'd rather just fast. I'm way less hungry on a dry fast. Imagine teasing yourself with a tiny meal and then, okay, every other day. I thought about it when I was carnivore. I was thinking, this ain't working. Maybe if I fasted every other day, I could actually digest this one meat meal. I don't know, you could have something there, but a lot of people seem to agree that eating often gives you more energy, and it kind of does. But I tell you, I was doing a weekly dry fast every single week for like 3 months straight. Wasn't seeing much benefit, but that last dry fast I just did, 8-day, like that was life-changing. So it seems to be like if you can do a longer fast occasionally, you do that instead of the daily, every other day, intermittent fasting. These are like small dents. They're okay for weight loss, but like healing something, it's the longer fasts that help you. But if it's just fat loss you're aiming for, I never focus on that, but I was shredded as hell eating 1 meal a day carnivore, and then 2 meals a day with that weekly dry fast. It was still pretty good, but I was starting to gain fat, and then I went up to 3 meals a day, and I'm just like, I felt hungrier. I think fasting is much better. I like the 1 meal, but I couldn't digest it, so I don't know, maybe 1 meal high carb, but why bother at that point? Just eat all day long and every day and just stuff it in your mouth and don't even chew it. So, why does the fat not make you nauseous this time? Also, this just isn't the path long term, though it can help and give you results short term. You're right. So basically, I was on and off nauseous for 9 months straight on carnivore. Some days it was okay. Most days I was queasy at some point. It was so annoying. I could never figure it out, really. There was times where it's like, okay, I'm not really that nauseous. Still constipated, still had a forehead rash. Just wasn't working out for me. Like, I don't know, man. Too much fat in 1 meal definitely nauseated me, but also did too much protein. So it's like too much anything. So I was spreading them out over 3 meals and it seemed better, but there was definitely times where even then I'm still nauseous. I'm like, yep, nauseous and tired. This sucks. Oh, the death energy. It must be impossible for you to keep up with this clown show, because I'll mention in a video like, oh yeah, no longer nauseous, but like that was maybe 2 days in a row, and then I got nauseous on the 3rd day, and then the next video we'll mention that one 2 weeks later, and it's tough to keep up with. But just fat in general, like my liver was clogged. If you don't have nausea from eating fatty meals, then you have a better liver than I do. I don't have one. Mine's a pig liver, and it was transplanted into my body when I was 7 years old. I don't even remember it. I suppressed the memory, and that's what's causing all of my problems. So I'm not sure I ever did get to the bottom of that nausea on the carnivore diet. Just a burdened liver, and it didn't seem to matter the ratios I was playing with, like high protein, lower fat versus super high fat, lower protein. As long as you eat too much in 1 meal, it doesn't matter. I couldn't handle it. So like, strengthen your digestion. I was taking lipase and enzymes and digestive bitters, and I'm trying so hard to digest this fat. The reality is it's not natural to eat that much fat. And so like I can't digest it. I shouldn't be allowed to. Like it's not, I'm trying to force my body to do frugivore related opposites. Huh? I saved the sentence. Did you ever solve the problems with the pain down your thigh and leg when having an O? I have not. At some point on one of my many fad deficient diets, I developed this thing where when I had an orgasm, shooting pain down my right leg, the front of it. And it just sort of stayed like that forever. And so like I can always tell when I'm about to orgasm because it's like, oh, there's that pain. And then I can hold it and like, okay, it's just like a warning sign. And I don't know what nerve that is or why it's happening. But there was one point where I did this like parasite cleanse. It was like the dumbest thing. I was having like just like flax seeds and spirulina and all this garlic and vegetable broth, and it seemed to go away briefly, but then it's still there. It's not like devastating pain or anything. It's just like, why is that happening? It's wrong. And lately, I've been feeling weird numbness in the back of my legs. That happened when I did the 21-day water fast, and I broke it with the raw eggs and almost died, and then I'm on a juice fast, and then it just felt like the back of my legs were numb and weird feeling. And now it's kind of, I feel that again. It's never really went away. You can hurt yourself doing these fad diets. Just be careful out there. If you're balanced, I get you. I understand that that's probably what science suggests, and it's probably your healthiest way to a long life. But for me, the digestion has been so weak that I haven't been able to eat these balanced foods and thrive. So that's why I do the fad way. Can we get some tips on retention? Thanks. Don't use your tip. So here's my biggest tip. Eat less meat, because I could not control it. Before going carnivore, I was doing that, retaining my stuff, and I wouldn't just spill it. It was like very rare that I was like, I kind of need to release. And it was easy, and I could have sex, and it was fine, and I didn't have to finish, and it was good. I didn't lose my energy. I was like, all right. Carnivore, 0. Every time I had sex, like, yep, we're going. Boom, done. I did it. Whereas now, after that dry fast, and I'm just like juicing, still eating some meat, I did it last night, or a couple nights ago. I had sex, and it was like, I don't need to. I thought for sure I was going to, because I wasn't used to that. So it's something about the carnal foods bring you down into this root chakra, and you have to release that energy. It's down there. It's like irritating almost. It's like a need, a lust. It could just be a sign that I was happy and healthy and functioning, and I had nice testosterone levels eating carnivore, and I was like, all right, I'm doing what nature intended me to do, and we're doing it. But it was just much harder. I just know that. I've talked to many people on like fruit-based diets to where you kind of lose that urgency. Is that a good thing? Maybe you're a eunuch. I don't know, man. It could be a bad thing. I don't know. Just go with intuition. I think if you spill your seed too often, you're going to age fast and be weaker and tired all the time. And it's not a good thing. So like whatever your diet can do to help you resist those urges to release. I mean, I've heard being constipated alone is enough to put pressure on your prostate and makes you like have to orgasm. It's just a strange thing. Just poo. You're gonna orgasm because poo is hurting you. But also just try not to entertain too many of those lustful thoughts. It's fun. I see women sometimes. Oh, that's a man. No, that ruined that fantasy. Oh God, you had longer hair too. I'm not dreaming about you tonight. I'm still trying to work on this myself. When I see women, I'm trying not to have these lustful thoughts. It's hard. It takes a lot of discipline. It's like you see a woman, nice form fitting. It's like, no, send her. Like sometimes I just have to look away and not even look at her so I can just resist the urge to think sexual thoughts about her. So that's what men do all day long. So it's like, I know God would be disappointed in me if I only objectified women. So I'm just trying to like send them love. That's your sister. She's happy with another man. That's fine. Just what a wonderful soul she is. Imagine what creative things she could do, and so motherly. Wow. Don't look at her body. So that can be a challenge, men. Just seeing women and trying to see them for the good things they could do. And just don't even look at their bodies and their hair and all that stuff. They're doing stuff for other men, and that's fine. You don't have to be there with them. So, discipline. All right, last question here. Bro, if you were overweight and had no issues with your digestion, which way would you choose to shed fat? Keto, paleo, fasting, veganism, or a mix of all these diets, fast, veganism. So my heart says I would go vegan. I have perfect digestion now thanks to you, so I have no problems, and I'm just gonna lose fat eventually, so I'll eat whatever I want. Vegan, I would probably stick to high carb just because most plants on earth are high carb plants. That's what we're meant to eat. Like every single one, the fruits and veggies, nuts and seeds. Oh boy, that got debunked pretty quickly. The grains and beans, potatoes, all those starchy tubers. It's like carbs are everywhere, and usually high carb eating people are lean. It's tough to get fat, but I've also noticed the complete opposite in my body. Like I seem to have a much better looking body composition on carnivore. I'm always very shredded. Anyone that says eating fat makes you fat has not tried 1 meal a day carnivore and fasting the odd time. It's like my body's always like very muscular, hardly any fat. It's like, I almost got too shredded last time. I felt like that's what kicked in a little depressive state because I had like no body fat, no hormones left. So like, I've noticed that low carb is pretty great for weight loss, but I had a forehead rash and I felt like I was not healing. So like, that might be the opposite. You might lose fat but get super sick, have a stroke one day. So I feel like if I had perfect digestion, it would just be high carb, boom, fruit all day, and then a rice and beans type of meal at night, should I so choose it. Some days fully raw, no meat. Maybe some fish sometimes, every day. I'm just not a fan of mixing the high fat and high carb, so I would pick a path and go. And if you really want to look leaner, less salt, if not zero salt, because you can just look so puffy. I don't know, like I looked very puffy on carnivore. You might say, oh, he's more handsome and fuller looking, but it's just like inflammation and puffiness and you're retaining water. Why would you? Because you're freaking poisoning yourself with the sodium. Like, why would your face be fat? Oh, this salt is so healthy. Let me just store it in my cheeks and forehead. Like, why? Your body's like getting it as far away from their cells as possible, holding it in water. It's like, oh my God, he's still eating this salt every day. Oh God, we can't even hold anymore. My legs were swollen. So like, you can look fat just because you're retaining water. So low salt, low fat, some meat, maybe. In season local fruits and veggies. The odd bit of starch passes your tongue, I wouldn't blame you. You'll live, not long, not longer than me. I'm going to at least 61. Longest lived YouTuber, anyone? You're looking at him. Thanks for thumbing up that video. Thumbs down if you once put a seagull and a raccoon in a room, you gave them one hot dog, and you expected them to share it. Who do you think won that battle? Well, the seagull took it, but they're clumsy, so he dropped it, and then the raccoon got it. You should have known that. I always buy 2 hot dogs. They come in a 6-pack, usually 12. I used to eat them raw. Is that why I'm sick now? Could be. Thank you for donating your Bitcoins. That's appreciative. You subscribing for more videos, Santa?